Welcome to Bridgewater-Raynham High School as the BR Marching Band gets us started. This is the 2019 home opener for the BR Trojans. They take on the New Bedford Whalers. I'm John Luck alongside Robert Giuffre. And Robert was a former player here at the Regionals, so the first home game for the BR Trojans, I'd imagine there's some butterflies right now.
Oh, there's definitely some butterflies looking up into those stands and seeing all your friends, all the family coming here to gather to watch you play. It's kind of scary, I'm not going to lie, but you got to overcome that and you got to go out there.
BR had a 1-2 record. New Bedford 2-0, their best start since 2014, and a lot of their offense comes on the back of Nigel Palmer, who has just under 300 yards rushing and 6 touchdowns for the Whalers. Last week against Whitman Hanson, 3 touchdowns. So a big focal point for Dan Buron's defense.
Oh, definitely. They got to stop number 23 and have eyes on him the whole game. Big boys got to play up front, and the linebackers have got to come to play too if they want to stop him.
Fairly windy afternoon here, gusting up to 20 miles an hour. Kickoff temperature 77 degrees, the dew point 59, so certainly hydration going to be very important as we kick things off here. As you see the ball fall off the tee, so just a sign of how windy things are right now. And see number 99, Liam Stewart, he's going to kick with the wind at his back, so it's going to certainly help the Trojans right off the bat. And here we go to open things up for the 2019 home schedule. Shahid Barrios going to take this one to the far side of the screen, looking for an open hole, and he's going to get taken down just shy of the 30-yard line, and gives us an opportunity now to see this pretty high-powered offense for New Bedford.
Yeah, and this offense is very, very, very dangerous when you get 23 out in the open field. He will make a play, and he will make you look silly if you don't tackle him up at the line of scrimmage.
Nigel Palmer missed last season, missed half of his sophomore campaign as well, so coming off of a long rest. And you see him in the backfield next to his quarterback, Ethan Medeiros.
Let's see if they just give him the ball here on first down.
On first down, the give is to Palmer, and Palmer's going to get the first down and a lot more into the Trojan side of the field. Finally pushed out of bounds right around the 30-yard line, pushed out by Ryan Cookshank.
Like I said, you got to tackle him at the line of scrimmage or he's going to make you look silly.
Potentially it's going to come back as we have a flag right around the line of scrimmage.
Very fortunate for Bridgewater-Raynham on that. That could have been detrimental. It's a young team coming off of 35-33 loss to Severian last week.
36-35 came down to a 2-point conversion with, I believe it was just under 40 seconds left to go.
Heartbreaking loss.
So let me ask you that, as a player, what do you take from a game like that into the very next game? Because I'd imagine these Trojans have images of Severian in the back of their minds.
As a player, you just got to forget last week. You just got to throw it out the window. It's a new week. You're facing New Bedford now.
Barrows on the near side. The give is to Palmer, who again gets in to the open field just shy of midfield up to the 48.
It's going to be like that all game. But Bridgewater-Raynham's got to man up and wrap up. See Sub and Spear out now.
49.
So a 16-yard gain for the Whalers, and just like that, they're knocking on BR territory. Trojans a 12-game winning streak against the Whalers, outscoring New Bedford 371-111. Dating
Masters
back.
did not get a call on the sideline. He was confused.
On first down, the handoff goes to Palmer into BR territory, but the Trojans defense is there. We talked about this earlier. The defensive look for the BR Trojans potentially stacking the box against a big running back like Nigel Palmer.
Well, with the size of the linebackers, I mean, you have to stack the box and you have to close those gaps quickly. It's going to be speed and mental notes that they're going to have to take care of. The speed of these linebackers is going to have to make up for the smallness of these linebackers.
Second and about 7. A shot 7.
Tyler Newman coming over.
3 receivers to the near side on second down. And Medeiros is going to take this one on his own, but he's going to be stopped just shy of the first down marker by about a yard or so.
What a way by this Bridgewater-Raynham defense to come in after those 2 long plays. 2 downs in a row. They've kept them from busting out.
Ethan Medeiros, one of the shorter quarterbacks that the BR Trojans are going to face this season, so that run option always going to be a possibility for New Bedford's offense.
Oh, yeah.
3rd and 1, about 9:45 to go in the first quarter. Handoff is to Palmer, but the BR defense is there
What a
to
play!
stop anything.
What a play by Hess.
Hess leading that charge against the
Assumption College looking at Kyle Hess.
bringing them shot of the first down.
So it's going to be 4th and short, and I'd imagine with a running attack like New Bedford has, you'd have to go for it at this point.
Oh, you have to go for it. I'm feeling pretty confident if I'm the New Bedford coach with Nigel Harris in my backfield. Nigel Palmer, I'm sorry.
So again, Palmer in the backfield. Next to his quarterback, Ethan Medeiros, who's in the shotgun, and we're going to get a timeout called.
Could actually watch out for a play action and a quick tight end pass. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. Everyone's keying on Nigel Palmer back there.
Again, folks, I'd like to
You could imagine they're all eyeing 23 in the backfield. Wouldn't be too far.
The concession stand is manned by the Friends of BR Athletics.
So for the Whalers, we mentioned Palmer, which we're going to mention him a lot during this broadcast here. His head coach, Mark DeBrito, said this about him. Nigel has been strong, but he's still getting himself back into football shape. I mentioned he missed a year and a half from the football field, so it's going to take some time, even more than 2.5 weeks, to really get things going. And when he gets things going, it's going to be scary, I'd imagine.
Oh, it's going to be scary. And it's scary to know that this guy isn't even at full health right now. Not even at full mental health. And he's doing the things he's doing on the offensive end of the field.
Damn.
And as a lineman, you know, it's a huge confidence boost when you got a guy like back in the backfield that can make those plays.
Dan Bjorn was very complimentary of this New Bedford team, both offensively and defensively. And now his Trojans defense faces a 4th and short. Again, Palmer in the backfield.
Like I
Here's
said,
going to tip this one up, and that one's going to be incomplete. A unique play call there, aimed for David Abimola.
like I said, it's Ethan Medeiros, he's not that great of a passer. That's why he's not going to throw the ball as much as you think he will.
So a very key defensive stand there for the Trojans to open things up. Now a chance here for the BR fans to see Austin Hartzell, the new quarterback for the BR Trojans. Anthony Morrison had a bulk of these snaps for the season last year. And this is a team that is pretty young.
But young, but very talented skill-wise. Very, very talented young skill positions out here.
Opening up from their own 42-yard line.
It's going to be a encroachment on the defense. 56, I think.
I think New Bedford might have jumped the gun.
Souza hopping off sides, getting a little antsy.
So going to be a 5-yard pickup there for the Trojans without even making a play.
You know, as a defensive guy, the first drive is the most adrenaline-rushing drive of the entire game unless it gets close down to late. You know, you just want to go out there and kill somebody, knock somebody's head off.
Carlo Crescetti, number 17, lining up on the near side. On first down.
They pitch it.
Here's the give to Morrison, and Morrison is going to break free. Just like that, Anthony Morrison put BR on the scoreboard.
No Lombard, no problem so far. Morrison with his 3rd explosive play of the season.
Anthony Morrison last week against the Varian took a ball back 85 yards. This time takes it 53 yards to pay dirt, and just like that, BR's on top.
And this kid's something. This kid's something, John. He's a junior. Last year, the quarterback, he transitioned to wide receiver and DB this year. With the injured Willie Lombard, they stuck him in at the running back, gave him a pitch. He took the first one back to the house.
And Liam Stewart puts it through the uprights. BR takes a 7-0 lead. And as we saw New Bedford before the game, they seemed fired up, ready to go. A touchdown like that, I'd imagine that's going to give some type of needle kind of to that balloon of positivity.
You know, as a ball squad, you got two options when that happens. It will either deflate you or it will motivate you. My other teams I played on, it motivated us. There was no deflating. There was let's go, make a play and score on offense now.
Should be worth noting that New Bedford did win the toss before the game, and they elected to receive the opening kickoff. So.
And this is a big testament. You said that this was New Bedford's year. Let's see if it's New Bedford's year. Tough game on the road against a rowdy BR squad.
Abdul Vargas and Shahid Barros awaiting the kick again. The wind going from right to left across your screen. And it's only going to get stronger as the afternoon goes on.
And Stewart with a boom.
Barros going to let this one go into the end zone. Going to be a touchback for New Bedford. Whalers so far 24 yards of offense on that opening drive, including a 16-yard carry by Nigel Palmer.
Let's see what they dial up on this drive, New Bedford. You know, we can talk about Nigel Palmer, but a football game is not won on one guy. It's got to be on the linemen, on the receivers, and especially on Ethan Meridos, the quarterback. Make the throws when you get the ball.
Dare so far 0 for 1 passing the ball, has a 4-yard run. And right now his Whalers are back at their own 20-yard line.
It's going to be an early flag. Whalers kind of shooting themselves in the foot early.
The penalty is against New Bedford.
So the illegal substitution against the Whalers, and things are only getting worse, and we're only about 3.5 minutes into this game.
It's 10 yards given up 3.5 minutes into the game. You can't give up yards like that.
Again, Trojans coming into this game 1-2 off of a loss against Zavarian in their first home game of 2019. This is going to be a passing play here. Medeiros, that one is going to be incomplete, intended for Vargas, but some nice defense there by Morrison.
You know, that ball hung in the air a little bit. If he just puts just enough under that ball, he might have a better chance of catching that and making a big play.
And we've seen a couple of passes from Medeiros that were almost completions. Abimbola on that last drive right off the fingertips, and now a second incompletion here for the Whalers.
The rear trips left. I wouldn't be decided if they go to the right on this play. Little misdirection. And they do.
Here's the pitch to Palmer as Medeiros gets leveled in the backfield. And again, the defense stands tall for the Trojans.
Number 77.
Here comes Spear.
Pressure on that quarterback.
Spear and Dinero coming in for the Trojans. You know, this is a very well-coached Trojan defense. Very disciplined.
3rd and 16.
They're not the biggest, but they are very tough.
Certainly speaks to the youth football program that Bridgewater and Raynham has as well. Of course, the Badgers and the Raynham Giants.
Very successful.
This is Palmer, and Palmer gets stopped.
BR's done their homework on New Bedford this week because they just can't get anything going after those first two big runs.
Looks like that was Jacob Spear on the stop. So now the Trojans defense holding New Bedford to a 3-and-out. Anthony Morrison awaiting The punt at New Bedford's 40.
Nearly blocked. And that won't do much help.
It'll take a New Bedford roll up to the 35, but still, BR can strike just like that as we saw in that last drive.
Terrible. Terrible punt. You cannot give BR the ball inside your own 50, let alone inside the 45-yard line.
So Dan Bjorn giving the last message there to Austin Hartzell, who actually did see some time at the quarterback position on Thanksgiving against Brockton.
Wouldn't be surprised if they just ran a power sweep here again.
First and 10, Trojans.
So it's going to be Crissetti lining up on the near side. Also have Tyler Newman, number 6, in the slot. Now the motion man.
And they do run sweep.
Here's a pitch to Morrison. And Morrison's going to get pulled down by his jersey, Bill Sousa, there on the pull down.
Morrison thought he was going for a lot more.
So it's going to be a 4-yard pickup for the junior running back.
Right now, if you're the New Bedford defense, you want to make BR throw the football. You don't want to have BR uncomfortable on the ground and pound, getting 6-5 yards a carry. You want to make him throw the football. Another pitch.
Here's a pitch again to Morrison. Bumps into his own man. Maybe a couple yards shy of the first down marker, maybe about a 4 or 5 yard pickup.
And the Buron offense will just grind you and wear you down with these 4 or 5 yards a carry. So good getting it 3rd and short. Setting this team up.
3 yards for a first down for the Trojans.
It's been all Morrison so far here today, 61 yards of offense. And we're only in the second offensive drive for the BR Trojans. Newman the motion man. Morrison again gets the pitch. Goes off tackle, going to get the first down by about a yard or so.
3 straight pitches. Buron loves this play. He will go to it every play if he can. If it's there, he'll go to it. And later in this game, you got to watch out for that sweep pass. They'll fake the sweep and they'll just send a tight end down for a 5 and out and a slot on a post.
Well, at first glance, it looks like Morrison actually does have the height advantage over some of these New Bedford defensive players, so maybe that's where Bjorn's seeing some differences.
Yeah. Morrison very good seeing the whole entire field as well.
First and 10, Trojans.
So Morrison is off the field right now, just getting a quick breather.
Bring McMasterson at the tail, and they'll go power I left. Strong side of the line on the right.
First down, handoff is to Spears, and he's going to get taken down just shy of the original line of scrimmage.
Soldier on the stop for the Whalers.
Morrison checks back in the game for Newman.
A couple weeks ago against the Duxbury Dragons, Morrison 10 carries, 106 yards rushing, and a touchdown.
He's huge for this offense.
Second.
With Lombard down, he's stepping up extremely huge today. He's carrying the load.
William Lombard, the senior running back, out of today's game. So it looks like a lot of the carries going to be going to Morrison.
Oh, and right through his hands.
Intended receiver number 15.
He knows it too. Could have brought that one down for a first and some change.
Softer.
So at this point of the game here, where they are on the field, it looks like this is going to be 4-down territory because you can't punt it, you can't really kick the field goal. So really for the BR Trojans, I'd imagine we're talking about 4 downs.
And Bjorn, he likes to go for it on 4th down. I'd imagine you could see a fake too, because they're not going to punt it down here. Bjorn's going for it all. If they get close enough and they're in field goal range, I still think that they're gonna go for it on 4th down. Bjorn thinks he can pound it down to Bedford's throat.
Morrison lining up in the slot here on third down. Hartzell, a deep drop, in trouble, and he's going to have to throw this one away. He was getting rushed by Sousa.
Setting up the screen to Rubo, and it was just not there. New Bedford just reads it the whole way. And they know this is a big down. If they can stop them here and get the ball back, this will be pretty good field position for them to make a drive and get back into this ball game.
The Whalers offense has had a difficult time getting anything going. If you're just joining us, Anthony Morrison ran a 53-yard run to the end zone.
12 for the Trojans.
Again, this is the Trojans home opener for 2019. A pretty light home schedule. Only 3 games here at the regional. On 4th and long.
They have Morrison in the slot.
Spear in the backfield.
They're going to go to him.
Looking for Morrison.
Intercepted.
Intercepted in the end zone.
What a catch.
Barrows on the interception.
Shaheed Barrows with a huge play.
By the Whalers.
And now you feel the momentum shifting the New Bedford sideline. You make that with one hand?
I think so. Right off the fingertips into the hand. And if you think about it, that was basically a punt, because now it's just a 5-yard difference to the ball at the 25. Now the ball goes back to the 20 of the Whalers, who take over on offense.
Bridgewater going to be forced to use a timeout. Dustin Sylvia trying to run off the field here to make it off in time for Bjorn's liking. And he will rally the troops here.
So BR takes the timeout with 4:08 to go in the first quarter. Trojans kicked off the season with a 28-0 loss against St. John's Prep, a win against Duxbury by 2 points, and lost by 1 against Bavarian. We talked about this in past years. Dan Bjorn likes to schedule some of these top teams in the state to get his teams ready for the playoffs. And
as a former player of Dan Bjorn, I can firmly say that he knows what he's doing when he scheduled his schedule. When you play teams like St. John's Prep, Bavarian, all these tough teams, you're just getting ready for the playoffs. By playoff time, we're ready to go. When you got a team like Braintree and you face Bavarian St. John's Prep and you know how to play these big guys, it's nothing.
Bavarian facing a 1-2 hole already, which is pretty strange to see with a top team like that. Michael Fernandez at the top of your screen here on first down.
Statue of Liberty play.
The short gain there for the Whalers. They've had a difficult time getting anything going. A big run by their big running back, Nigel Palmer, got called back on penalty.
And that really stalled the drive from there. I mean, they had probably about a 15-yard run after that, and it's been all this BR defense since, just smacking them in the mouth up front.
So far, unofficially, 20 yards on 6 carries for Palmer. His Whalers face a 2nd and long here. It's a quick pass to Barrows, and Barrows is going to get stopped by the Trojans defense, who's had really anything New Bedford's done scouted out.
Yeah, just very good job of pursuing the football by Bridgewater-Raynham. You know, one guy's there, next thing you know, there's 6-7. Gang tackle, get to the football, and make a tackle.
Dan Bjorn said that he expects improvement out of this team, a team that went 3-7 last year. Again, with a sophomore quarterback and a lot of youth all around. Now a 3rd and long for the Whalers. Madera is forced to take this one on the run, and he's going to get stopped well short of the first down marker.
And this is what I was talking about earlier. Medeiros, it just doesn't seem like he has confidence in his arm throwing that long ball. He had a guy coming up the sideline, looked like he was open, but like earlier, he just kind of overthrew him. So I just didn't think he wanted to take the chance.
So here we are again, potentially BR starting inside New Bedford territory right off the bat.
see if this punt will be better than last time.
Spear almost got a hand on that, but it's going to hit a wall of wind.
You cannot do that. You cannot give a team 2 straight possessions inside the 45-yard line. Got away with the first one, but a second one.
Way to give New Bedford credit. They did stop the BR Trojans on defense when they were facing tough field position. Now a chance here for Dan Buron to try and punch this one in. I imagine this is just as big of a drive for the BR offense as it is the New Bedford defense.
Oh yes. This is a momentum shifter both ways you look at it.
So the Trojans starting out from New Bedford's 38-yard line.
Morrison's back in the backfield.
Morrison dotting the I. And he gets the handoff straight through the middle, again off of one of his own teammates. But he's going to get a pretty sizable gain.
So Kyle Perry heard on the play. Andrew Dinero limping off the field alongside Owen Balzerini.
Again, that's a 5-yard gain.
So it's going to be a 5-yard pickup for Morrison. As Danino made his way off the field.
Through that offensive line.
Line up in an I formation.
Same formation here for the Trojans. Pitch goes to Morrison. And Morrison tripped up right around the 30-yard line. Going to bring up 3rd and about 1 for the Trojans.
Fullback's got to kick that cornerback out, and that could be a house call. If he just kicks that corner out to the sideline a little bit more, that lane's going to open up. And they're going to be doing that all game. Power sweep, power sweep.
So it's actually a 3-yard pickup now. Makes it 3rd and 2. But again, the Trojans go back to this very familiar I formation that we've seen for many, many years.
Michael Rubo gets the ball.
Going to the fullback here on 3rd down. I think they're going to have it by just a little bit. Looks like they might actually bring the chains out. They'll save time with the chains, just say automatic first down.
They will give it a first down. It's a big, big, big first down.
1st and 2nd.
BR's offense predicated on clock management and running the ball, taking as much time off the clock as possible.
The false starts. It's the left tackle. Luke Payton. A little excited. And those are just the worst types of penalties to have as an offense. Is false start, delay a game. It's just before you can even get the play off, shooting yourself in the foot.
Now BR forced to start back around the 33. And we're going to get a timeout.
Second timeout of the half for Buron. It was a New Bedford that called a timeout.
So again, it's worth noting, New Bedford starting off the season with their best record since 2014. Historically, this has been that turnaround game for the BR Trojans. It's been one of those games where you can have your season take off, or, you know, if you're already doing pretty well, you just continue on with the good times. But New Bedford's always been that turning point in the season for the BR Trojans.
And New Bedford's got to take heart to that. I mean, if you're New Bedford, you're like, we're not going to be their turning point this year. They're our turning point if I'm New Bedford. They're our turning point this year. And you know, you can't keep getting outplayed by these guys BR if you're New Bedford. And gotta take a stand.
They were fired up before the game, pretty loud. We could hear them from the press box here.
Could feel them from the press box up here. They're ready to go. And it's no mystery that BR, is just taking it to them every single year. They know that.
So he says it's a timeout. It was actually the end of the first quarter, so we probably should note that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's a wall in the way.
You guys cannot see the wall, but there is a wall.
Or if you're talking to TV, that's like the fourth wall.
Bjorn out in the field, chatted up with his buddies, the referees. You know he loves them. Interesting to see what he's talking about. He's talking about something probably before the end of the quarter, putting on the other end of the field. And he doesn't look happy heading back to the sideline. So 1st and 15 on the 33-yard line.
Off a false start penalty. So again, Morrison dotting the I.
Oh, and
Hartzell evades a couple of tackles, just throws this one up, tipped around, and it's going to be intercepted by Shaheed Barrows, the second pick of the day.
What a play by Shaheed Barrows. Off the tip. And that's it. Wow. Back-to-back spectacular plays on defense for Shaheed.
Second interception of the day.
Looks like it was intended for Ryan Ubenskis.
Because Hartzell just didn't have any time to even look at his coverages on that play. Get a freight train coming at him 100 miles an hour.
So now New Bedford takes over on offense. Ryan Dosenberg and Vargas on the near side. First down, the give is to Palmer. And Palmer gets stopped about right around the 25-yard line.
And Palmer, he doesn't have to get a big run every time. He's got to get 6 yards every run. You know, that should be the key for him, is not breaking a big run put on the highlight reel in your huddle. This offensive line is really getting outworked by this Bridgewater-Raynham defensive line.
Barrows on the near side here. On second down. And the give is right to the running back. That is Palmer, who breaks free. And just like that, the Whalers are back in this one.
And just as I was saying that, I noticed that Bridgewater-Raynham had 3 bad linemen up front. Can't do that apparently against Nigel Palmer.
75 yards to the house for Nigel Palmer.
He'll take advantage of that every single time you give him it.
His 8th carry turns into 6 points for the Whalers. Now we see Anderson Cruz coming in for the PAT.
Cruz on going after touchdown for the Whalers.
And the kick is going to be good. We're all tied up.
That's what the Whalers love to do. They love to spread the field out and let Palmer find a seam in that defense.
And of course, that goes back to that Shaheed Barrows interception, which could prove to be very costly here. But nonetheless, Barrows has played spectacular defense, especially in the passing game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just two huge picks here early in the first. We're early in the first half. This also goes back to what I was saying earlier. If you want to win this game, you got to have Bridgewater-Raynham pass the football.
Typically, BR is a second-half team, so Coach Barron likes to have that halftime break, make some moves and alterations to what his team looks like. So potentially we could be seeing a case of that here in this game. As the Whalers get on the board here thanks to a 75-yard run by Nigel Palmer, his 7th touchdown of the season.
This is a special kid. This is a special player.
Well over 300 yards rushing on the season as well.
And you hear that New Bedford sideline starting to get loud now. tie this ball game up. Deadlocked at 7. And oh boy. Smart play by Merlino. Just let it roll out.
Could have been disastrous there for the Trojans, as it looked like it was ready to lay down right around the 3 of the 2.
Would have had to pick it up. It was a lose-lose. So 2 long touchdowns for both teams here today. There's Morrison on the first one and Palmer on the second.
Morrison's 53-yard run, the first play on offense for the BR Trojans, and Nigel Palmer, who you just saw a couple minutes ago, running it 75 yards to the house.
Making it look easy.
Newman, the motion man. And the give is to the fullback there in that play, number 19. That is Rubo.
Barrows making another play. You gotta hope that Beyond will be telling Hartzell, don't throw it towards number 10.
And after seeing a couple of interceptions, do you change the play calling at all? Or do you go more run to try and avoid anything like that happening?
I would go more run, but I mean, if you can't run the football, you gotta go to the pass if you want to move it effectively. And they just do not pass as much as you think they should. So they're not used to it. They're a run first team.
On second down, the give is to Morrison, straight through the middle, off his defender, and he's going to break free. Morrison takes this one to the end zone. Trojans back on top.
This might be an offensive shootout, John. Spectacular.
How do you follow up a 53-yard run? How about 60?
60 yards to the house sounds good. It looked like he ran into a brick wall, bounced it out, and just took it to the crib. Big guys up front love it. Fans love it. And I bet Coach Piron loves it.
Liam Stewart on for the PAT. That one's going to have the height. It has the distance and the aim.
And you know 23 is sitting on the sideline going, okay, 15. Now it's your turn to watch me.
Back and forth we go here at the regional. I think Morrison might have found his calling as a running back.
I think he might have too. He's a mobile quarterback. Hey, why not stick him into the tailback? He's not the biggest, but he's got the will.
Well, like I said earlier, it looks like he has that height advantage, from first glance on the Bedford defense. Of course, now we're starting to see Nigel Palmer get warmed up here.
Oh, man, that's a bad man.
So it's going to be Vargas and Barrows awaiting the kick once again. End over end. This is Vargas from his own 11. And he's quickly running out of room, bounces into his own teammate, and the Whalers going to start from their own 32-yard line.
In Bridgewater, they've been going to the 4-down lineman look, and the first time they go to the 3-down lineman and spread out their defense, it's just torched up the gut. So when you see 3-down linemen, you might see Nigel Palmer's eyes get a little big in that backfield. Wouldn't be surprised if Ethan Marino is just audible to him. And they go to 4-down lineman on this play.
With 4 on the defensive line, here's Medeiros on first down, and he goes down. Ryan Rubinskis with a sack.
Ripped down. Ryan Rubinskis, really, there was no backside protection. It was just an easy play as the long arms of Ryan Rubinskis just swung down a little Ethan Merinos. Thought he could have escaped, but ran into the Rubinskis trap.
So it's going to set up a 2nd and 22.
Huge play. Wouldn't be surprised if they go screen here to Palmer, trying to get back some of those yards.
3 on the line.
They do.
Quick pass to Palmer, but that might have been too little too late as the running back goes down for another loss.
It's not so apparent, but Palmer gets a little too shovey with the defensive end, causing just a little delay on that pass. It's just a quick bang and get out. You don't want to wrestle with him. They're going to send Dustin Sylvia out to the sideline again. 3rd and forever.
Just under 8.5 to go in this first half. BR up 14-7 over the New Bedford Whalers here on opening day at the regional for the Trojans. 1-2.
Just watch Shahid Barrows on the sideline.
Medeiros, he's given all the time, throws this one deep. That is going to be caught and roped in by Barrows.
And he's making Bridgewater-Raynham remember his number today. Just going to be a quick in for Shahid. Just go up and get it.
So a 16-yard grab for Barrows, but unfortunately it was too little too late because now New Bedford has to punt after a big play like that 16-yard reception.
I don't know. I'd watch out for a fake here.
Morrison deep for the Trojans.
They've been playing ball inside the 40 all day, but I don't think that they'll take the gamble. Gets a New Bedford bounce.
And the Trojans will start from their own 34.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Trojans from the 34-yard line.
No answer from New Bedford on that drive.
Think about it, the big play so far in this game might have been that big sack by Rubinskis. A 12-yard loss for the Whalers.
Yeah.
Really set them back.
And then that screenplay right after just didn't go anywhere. So when you got 3rd and forever, Shahid Barrows comes up and makes a huge catch, but it was a 3rd and 20. 15 yards, 3rd and 10, that's a first down.
So Hartzell's going to throw on first down, but he's going to get taken down.
Absolutely mauled by a pack of New Bedford players.
And we've seen some deep drops by Hartzell as well. It almost looks like he's either uncomfortable or can't really read what his receivers are running.
It might even be that he just knows that he's not going to have that much time. I've seen him against St. John's Prep, and he was running for his life out there in that game.
22-yard line.
And so when they bring Hartzell out for a rollout, it's 9 times out of 10 he's getting chased down. He's not rolling, he's getting chased.
Just over 7 minutes to go in the first half. As BR looking to get some yards back, they gave us to Spear, who gets up to the 28-yard line for the 5-yard pickup.
Spear on the carry.
Hartzell, the quarterback's son, quarterback's coach. His father down there.
Mark Hartzell, I believe.
Yep. Played on the Chicago Bears, I think. Chicago Bears, and played behind Peyton Manning. So you know his son's got some knowledge on how to play the position.
Trojans wide right.
Spear again dotting the I. 2 receivers lined up to the near side. One of them is Morrison, who was in the slot. We're going to get a timeout called here by Mark DeBrito. As the Trojans face a 3rd and long. At first glance, you would think BR would just try and get some of those yards back, try and play the field position game, but with a running back with the talent of Morrison, your playbook really opens up.
Oh, it opens up. It explodes. He's an explosive player, and you can really do anything with him. Screen, misdirection, you're running straight up the gut, like.
And we talked earlier, with the loss of Lombard in this game, we knew a lot of the offense was going to come on the shoulders of Anthony Morrison.
And we did know that, but we didn't know that Morrison was going to come out here and just light it up like he was today.
6:26 to go in this first half. Trojans looking to get the first down here, facing a 3rd and long. Again, Morrison lining up in the slot position.
Look for a pass to him, and they will.
Hartzell forced to throw quickly.
It's Shaheem!
And Barrows will lay out the receiver.
When you see 15 lined up out in the slot, they're trying to get the ball to 15. It's very clear today. That's what they're doing. Shaheem Barrows just cracks the junior. I might fall asleep with Shaheem Barrows' name in my head this afternoon tonight. He's all over the place.
So with that big hit, that was actually Hartzell's first completion of the day, but still way short of the first down, so the Trojans are going to have to be forced to punt here.
Does Morrison usually line up in the punt? I think he does.
This is going to be Barrows at his own 30. And he gets wrapped up, taken down at the 42-yard line. As Shaheed Barrows has come up big on 3 big plays, a couple of interceptions, and that big hit put on Morrison.
Yeah, one was in the first quarter down here inside the 5, the second down here inside the 30, and then that hit, like you just said, on Anthony Morrison. He's going to feel that.
.5:18 remaining in the first half. BR up 14-7. Whalers looking to get back on the board again. 3 receivers lined up to the far side. Handoff goes to Palmer on first down. Eludes a couple of defenders. Fights his way to the 47-yard line.
It's a very good run, though. 5 yards a carry will carry you down the field, literally. As a player, that's all my coaches ever asked for of us was 5 yards every play. If you get 5 yards every play, you will not be stopped.
That was the 9th carry on the day for Palmer. Brings up a 2nd and 5. A 4 receiver.
They're blitzing!
Medeiros on the run here, and he's going to get taken down, throws it away. Maybe that was a smart decision considering he had Rubenskis giving chase.
And Corey Bellard, I don't know if you saw, but he just laid out Palmer. I mean, Palmer was sitting back there ready for pass protection, and he just got hit by a freight train. My goodness. A little jarring after the play.
Third and 5 for the Whalers.
Another 3rd down.
Barrows lining up on the near side of your screen. Number 10. Handoff goes to Palmer. But again, the BR defense is there to stop.
And that front line has been their kryptonite this afternoon.
So again, the Whalers are going to be forced to punt. And now you're starting to talk about potentially BR getting the last possession of the first half and the first possession of the second half, getting some double dip going on.
That's huge for an offense. I mean, that's huge for a team. When you can go into halftime after you put up some points at the half and you know you're getting the ball right back, that's huge. And it looks like he's going to send again.
Clock winding down, under 4 minutes to go in the first half. And this one is going to roll out right around the 7 or 8 yard line.
Looks like the coach had some work for the punter because this one was a boot. Something sparked up in him. excellent field position. New Bedford sticking BR inside the 10-yard line. No, inside the 20.
So the ball spotted right around the 12-yard line.
Dan Buron, most coaches, when you get the ball inside, what is the ball at? It's at the 10, at the 13. They're not going to be too thrilled, but Buron's like, yeah, we want some clock out.
Of course, Dan Buron, well known for clock management. We talked about in years past, he has that one big second half drive. As the ball goes to Morrison here on first down, and he gets a couple yards on the gain.
It's big thing. Stay in bounds. Stay in bounds. Let's wind this clock out, put some points on the board, and head into half.
So 4-yard pickup there for Morrison, who has 2 touchdowns on the day. Already well over 100 yards rushing. And this was the quarterback a year ago, too, which is maybe even more eye-opening. The fact that you have a quarterback that's putting up well over 100 yards a game.
He knows this offense, too. Being a quarterback, you should know every single play where everyone's going, so just having that knowledge is crucial.
Looks like they give it to Rubo there on second down, who charges through for another few yards. Going to bring up third and about 1.
New Bedford going to use a timeout or not? They will not.
Rubo on the carry.
So they will put its faith in its defense.
So the Trojans facing a 3rd and 3, 2:25 to go in this first half. And they have the 7-point lead. And we are going to get a timeout called by, I believe, the Whalers? Or the Trojans, rather.
Trojans.
Pretty big play call coming up here for Dan Buron and his coaching staff.
2:21 remaining.
Looking to keep the New Bedford offense off the field, but also looking to try and keep this momentum going.
Anytime you can keep Nigel Palmer and that New Bedford offense off the field is a good idea.
Again, another thank you to our game sponsor.
Don't want to have them bust a big one before the half.
Again.
One of Buron's biggest pet peeves is letting the lead of momentum go right before the half.
That's where that clock management part of coaching comes in, I'd imagine. You want to keep that big guy off the field at any cost.
He's one of the best. He's one of the best at clock management. He's been doing it for years, decades. Actually, decades. Let that sink in. Man knows what he's doing.
He's won Super Bowls. He coached the Trojans to back-to-back Super Bowl appearances at Gillette Stadium back around 2010, 2011. Also a pair of state section finals against King Philip.
I played in those, yeah. These are big games.
Maybe one of the most fun atmospheres to be in, with a big trip to Gillette Stadium on the line, which is where the Trojans want to end up here this year on third down.
I remember that. That was crazy.
Morrison is going to get devoured by the New Bedford defensive line. And could that have been a case maybe where the BR offense went to the well one too many times?
I mean, it's tough because he's just so good. I mean, why not give him the ball on 3rd and short, but if you run a pass, it'll stop the clock if it's incomplete, so.
So the Trojans have got to let some of this clock wind down. Kind of surprising not to see Mark DeBrito take a timeout. And now we're down to 1:35 to go until halftime.
And they're just going to let it go.
And the Whalers will start from the BR 49 with 1:17 to go. Which, given how we've seen some of these scoring plays, that's more than enough time to get back on the board.
Plenty of time. Probably need about 13 seconds. High-powered offense.
It will be the Whalers ball, 1st and 10
You know, these offensive linemen have got to. I know you have Nigel Palmer in the backfield, but you got to give him lanes to run through. His first touchdown, you could run a truck through there.
Medeiros playing out of the gun. Palmer playing almost looks like a slot position here.
Go empty.
As Medeiros wanted to air it out, but he gets taken down very hard by a few players, including Rubenskis.
Rubenskis has made himself familiar to him this afternoon.
Also had Owen Balzerini there on the stop.
5 yards.
As the clock will stop at 1:05.
For the Whalers.
Very interesting they went empty there. You'd think that you could get the BR defense thinking if you have Palmer just sitting in the backfield.
Mike DeBrito trying to come up with different ways to use Palmer, even as a decoy, which I think could be pretty important when you talk about the final moments of the second half, even if this is a one-possession game.
Exactly. As a player, I can tell you, when you got a very good running back sitting in the backfield, you're looking at him. You're always paying attention to what he's doing. And so if you can grab the defender's attention for a split second, that could open up a huge play down the field.
New Bedford has picked off a couple of BR passes, but nothing going off of those interceptions. So far, the big play, a 75-yard touchdown run by Nigel Palmer. Anthony Morrison has a couple of big runs of his own.
Trips out to the left.
A full receiver set for the Whalers. Medeiros going to throw this one very high and going to go right between the hands of Vargas.
You think he's got to have a little bit more faith in his route there. Almost tripped over himself backing up into the corner. I think it would have been there if he would have just kept going.
So far, I have Medeiros for 14 yards passing.
Which is one completion, right? Completed one pass today. He's been sacked twice.
Got Medeiros out of the gun. Throwing that one, and that one's going to be dropped by Barrows, who's shown up more on defense than on offense. But it brings up a fourth down and a pretty interesting decision here for Mark DeBrito.
I'm going to put that one on the quarterback. I mean, he's right there. He's got all that green grass around him. Nobody's within 3 yards of him. You got to put that on the money.
With 55 seconds remaining.
So the Whalers going to elect to kick things away on fourth down with 55 seconds to
That's
go until we
big,
hit
too, because the clock does not stop. Bridgeawter-Raynham could potentially score another touchdown heading out of here.
Very high kick.
Morrison back there.
Morrison picks up around his own 6. And he'll get wrapped up. Spun around a couple times, and BR will start from their own 13-yard line.
I believe
Gotta wonder if they're just gonna take a knee heading into the half or try to get more so an explosive play.
.24 seconds remaining, first and
Ball on the
10.
13.
Trojans, the ball on the 12-yard line.
You definitely don't want to throw a pick. Definitely don't want to get too cute.
Hartzell has had a couple of interceptions that have gone the way of Shaheed Barrows.
It looks like they're just taking a knee. As Morrison approaches past quarterback's back. They will.
That is indeed the case, and the Trojans are going to be more than happy to go to the locker room up 14-7. And this was the first half where the Trojans looked really, really good. There were also a couple of points where there were some things they could improve on.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Both teams can improve on some things, but Bridgewater-Raynham looks like they got this thing pretty confident.
Meanwhile, for the Bedford Whalers, they came into this game facing a pretty big obstacle in the BR Trojans. They haven't beaten BR in 12 years. They want to win here today.
Oh, yeah. Statement for this undefeated New Bedford team if I'm them. This is a statement victory, saying we're here and we're going to take it this year. This is our year.
The scoring recap so far for the New Bedford Whalers, a 75-yard run by Nigel Palmer. For the BR Trojans, though, it's been Anthony Morrison that has done all the damage. A 53-yard run and a 60-yard run to get us to the halftime break, and the BR Trojans are up 14-7. Second half come up in just a minute.
Outstanding. Outstanding job.
Welcome back here to the regional. John Luck and Robert Giuffre with you as the BR Trojans lead the New Bedford Whalers 14-7. And we were talking before we came back here, the two quarterbacks, seems like they're playing like they don't have a lot of confidence in their passes.
Nope, they're not, and they don't have a lot of confidence in their offensive lines either, it feels like, especially Austin Hartzell, who's just getting chased and mauled nearly every time he drops back to pass. And same can go with Ethan Marinos, who's getting mauled as well every time he's going back to pass. If you can't step up and throw as a quarterback, you're not going to have that much confidence in your throw.
Medeiros, a senior, and Hartzell is a sophomore quarterback. So Hartzell may be more understandable. He's a quarterback trying to figure out his place on the field. So that's one story. The other story is the head-to-head matchup we have at the running back position. Anthony Morrison, 134 yards unofficially on 9 carries, including a pair of touchdown runs, one from 53 yards out, one from 60 yards out. Meanwhile, number 23, Nigel Palmer for the Whalers, a 75-yard run. He has 10 carries for 110 yards.
It's going to be a heavy run. It's going to be a heavy run second half, John. Let me tell you, when you got two weapons like that sitting in the backfield and you can't throw the ball, you might as well use them.
So when you talk about running game like BR and New Bedford has, it comes down to more or less your offensive line opening up those big gaps for you to run through.
Yeah. You've seen in New Bedford, it's just sometimes that these defensive linemen for Bridgewater-Raynham are just standing them up. And when your offensive lineman is standing up, you're clogging the hole. You got to get low and make some push.
The Whalers so far have hauled in a couple of Hartzell's passes. Shahid Barros, a couple of interceptions, one in the end zone, the other one on the near side, right around the 30-yard line. He certainly proved to be a big threat in the secondary.
Oh, yeah, Shahid Barros has been all over the field, especially on defense today. They need to get a game plan going for him.
The Trojans will get the ball first to kick things off in the second half, as we mentioned not just today, but in games past, the BR Trojans are a second-half team. It seems like they have that one drive where they start to wind the clock down, eat those yards up, and all of a sudden we're in the fourth quarter.
This is where they thrive, in the second half, opening up and just shredding that clock. Just watching it tick down, giving it to the power sweep, running it between the tackles, hard-nosed football, get the job done.
And of course, Robert played for Dan Buron a few years ago, back-to-back state final appearances, I believe, your teams had. Playing for Coach Dan Buron, what is it like as a player for those of us that haven't played on the BR Trojans?
You got to be a man. You can't be a boy playing on that team. You're not going to like it. You know, you got to be a man. You got to man up, and you got to just go balls to the wall.
We talked earlier about the youth football. We see the Raynham Giants and the Bridgewater Badgers playing on the small field over there by the goalpost. The youth football program, not just in this town but in Raynham, I think is second to none, especially when you talk about Massachusetts.
Oh, they're excellent, especially preparing these guys up for high school. They're just winners from such a young age, it seems like, and they know how to win, and they know how to win with class. It's not like they get to the high school and they're like, oh, this is what winning feels like. It's like they know how to win and be classy about it.
Stefano D'Amelia, the quarterback for Bridgewater State's football team, came from the Badgers, played here at the regional, and now is a senior at BSU as the Bears look for their first win of the season. But D'Amelia has certainly been an offensive firework for the Bears over the past couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
But we are here at the high school, and the BR Trojans are up 14-7 in a game that really has been dominated by Anthony Morrison and Nigel Palmer. We'll see if that continues here in the second half, as the wind right now is going really from the top to the bottom of your screen, as our cameraman Brian Berard up top told me earlier my forecast wasn't really true.
No.
I guess I'll just stick to being inside the press box.
You know, watch out for Corey Alibard. He hasn't done much, but he laid a hit on Nigel Palmer and late in that second quarter.
Brian Merlino and Morrison awaiting this kick. It's going to be Morrison taking it from his own 13-yard line. And Morrison finds a couple of holes, gets tripped up, and he's going to start the Trojans from their own 33-yard line.
You know, as a coach, you got to love that when your star player's like, give me the ball. I'll take this back. Love to see it.
Dan Buron said this about Arston Hartzell. He has a good presence on the field. He has some athletic ability. He can throw the ball, so we'll throw the ball a little bit more this season. We haven't seen a lot today, but he has a good understanding of the game. You wouldn't know he was a sophomore. Being with us last year really helped him out. We mentioned they saw time at the quarterback position during the Thanksgiving game, which can really shake your nerves, especially, I'd imagine, as a freshman.
Going up against those Brockton boys.
Pair of receivers. First down carry goes to Morrison for the short gain.
And it's almost like Buron is not going to even want Morrison to break off for a long touchdown. He wants him to break off for like a 10, 15-yard touchdown. We'll take 40 seconds, 25 seconds off the clock and do it again.
It's almost like the Bill Belichick mentality, those little dink and dunk passes, but instead of the passing, you're talking about sending your running back and your fullback through the middle of the defensive line.
Yep. And then on those sweeps, Buron loves his sweeps.
So off the 2-yard pickoff. Again, Morrison in the backfield, Newman the motion man. Morrison gets the pitch. Lowers his head as he charges past the 40 up to around the 41-yard line. Morrison making something out of nothing on that play.
The best position you can be in to start when you're in the middle of the drive is third and short or first down. It's plain and simple. You get your position, you get your team in position third and short, you're going to be looking at a lot of first downs.
3rd and 3.
Third and long is killer.
Ball resting just up over the 40.
So Carlo Crissetti lining up on the far side again.
They're stacking up
on
the
near
left side of
now
the line.
motion man. 4 on the defensive line for the Whalers. And this is going to be a handoff to Rubo, and I think he has it by the nose of the football. They're going to give him the first down.
Trojan first down.
It's a good job extending the arm by Rubo. Doesn't extend that arm. I think his knee will touch. I believe that is an iPad. Nope, that's a notebook.
That's a clipboard. We were confused by the rectangle object that Ryan Brini was carrying. Turns out it's just a notebook. On first down. Again. Handoff to Morrison. Charges through the middle of the field into Bedford territory. It's a hat trick for Morrison and a third touchdown for the Trojans.
Mama, there goes that man. They don't have an answer for him. And he is torching this New Bedford defense, which has been pretty stout up front all season.
Nice block, holding that offensive.
Wow.
Morrison, and it was all downhill.
3 touchdowns, one from 53 yards out, one from 60, and this one from about 56.
Going into week 4 is going to be pretty nice knowing you got Lombard and Morrison in the backfield next week.
Here comes Liam Stewart again for the PAT, and that is going to be good. It's 21-7. And that goes back to what we were talking about earlier as far as the offensive line, giving Morrison that big hole to get through the middle of the defense.
He was just going straight through that thing. Excellent job by the offensive line opening that big hole. Excellent job. That's how you get it done in the second half. But then again, you got to win a Coach Buron. He'll take a score, but he loves that clock winding down.
So that drive took off 2:16. As now we have 12-minute quarters here in high school football. So instead of a 44-minute game, now a 48-minute game. And when you get to the Super Bowl at Gillette Stadium, I believe it's still 10-minute quarters.
Yeah. I think they should just set it one time. Don't need all the confusion before a game, heading into a game. Now New Bedford's got to answer, or this one could get away from him quickly.
Stewart's kick goes end over end. Barrows is going to take this at his 6. He has the size. He also has a teammate in his way, and that's going to be a disaster there for the Whalers, as New Bedford will start out from their own 16-yard line.
Ryan Dosenberg kind of just falls on his butt and stays there. You got to get up and move. Kind of caused Shaheem Bozer to just have nowhere to go on that side of the football.
So here comes the New Bedford offense led by Ethan Medeiros, the quarterback. And you said before we came back for the second half that Medeiros could be the deciding factor of this game.
Oh, he's going to be the deciding factor in this game. If BR just keeps playing like they're playing up front, they're going to have to throw the football.
4-receiver set. Medeiros going to throw this one completed to Barrows around the line of scrimmage. And Barrows fighting off a few defenders. He will get to right around the first down marker, and I think they're going to give it to him.
And that's huge because they look like they have a lot of skill talent on the perimeter, and you just got to be able to use it. You don't want to waste it just sitting there with a quarterback that can't give him the football.
So right now I have Shaheed Barrows as the leading receiver right now. 3 receptions, 26 yards.
He is having himself a game today.
And he lines up on the near side.
Looks like a mismatch with Merlino, number 25, at the bottom of the screen. And it looks like they're going to run an option.
Barrows pitches off there to Palmer. And Palmer eventually ran out of space, so it's going to be about a 3-yard, 4-yard pickup.
At a gain of about
looks like a little bit of that juice has been taken out of this New Bedford team from when they first started the game. Hands on their hips, way to start out the half.
I think they understand the weight of the situation now. Here, 21-7, they're down. They need to get a score at some point here to try and keep things close.
Wouldn't be surprised if they went right back to that option.
On second down, Medeiros is going to air this one out, but
boy.
right into the hands of the man who's done it all here this afternoon, Anthony Morrison, with the interception, gets stopped at the 48. And I think Dan Bjorn wanted a personal foul. That was a pretty hard hit there on Morrison.
Palmer getting into it with a bunch of the Bridgewater-Raynham players. He's got to have Antonio Scurry pull him out. And a huge turn of events. It's almost like he just lofted it up for anyone to grab.
We talked about it earlier. Medeiros, it seems like when he throws those passes, there's a lot of air underneath. And when you have a receiving core like you've had so far, where your leading receiver has 26 yards, it kind of makes things difficult to get your passing game going.
It's killer. It's killer. I'm surprised that they haven't gone more play action as well with Palmer in the backfield. Seems like he's sort of just setting up to throw. You know, if they could have maybe just a split second of delay on the defense.
Hartzell on the center.
Could give Medeiros a little bit more time.
Split receivers here for the Trojans. As Hartzell's going to roll out, throw on the run, and that is caught by Rubenskis.
And you know, pregame him and the backup quarterback for Henny were going, just throwing it on the run, throwing it back inside the 10 all pregame. So that just looks like a throw he's very comfortable with making.
So a 14-yard gain for the Trojans, another first down. And as the clock winds closer and closer to the 8-minute mark here in the third quarter.
You cannot have a turnover here. You have to protect the football. Even if you don't put points on the board, a turnover could be huge.
Handoff goes to Morrison. Again, a zag, and a sizable run for the running back. That's 4 touchdowns for Morrison.
Is there a Heisman Trophy award? Is there a Heisman Trophy award? Because he deserves this. My goodness, this kid can ball.
37-yard run for the score.
Wow. Anthony Morrison doing it all today.
Outstanding blocking up front by that offensive line.
Incredible performance.
And there was a lot of questions as far as what this offense would look like without William Lombard on the field. Turns out now, you found out you have a pretty big threat in Anthony Morrison.
Yeah. A star was born today in Anthony Morrison, it seems like.
Then you go back to that big pass by Hartzell to Rabenskis as the kick is going to go through the uprights.
It is perfect.
The Trojans feel pretty comfortable now with a 28-7 lead, but this game is far from over. Still got about 20 minutes and some change to play.
7:48 to go in this third quarter, and you'd have to think at this stage of the game, Dan Bjorn's telling his team to play smart. Don't let New Bedford get into your head and get those personal foul penalties, because those can let New Bedford back into the game very quickly.
Exactly. Morrison getting some love on the sideline from his brothers.
4 touchdowns, close to 200 yards rushing, also an interception.
You know, Mom and Pop are sitting up in these stands proud of number 15 today. He is putting on a show.
Again, it's Barros and Vargas awaiting the kick. Barros from his 4. Gets some blocking, and New Bedford's going to start out from their own 23-yard line. Maybe one of the better field positions to start out from this afternoon.
It's not looking good for this New Bedford team, and sooner or later they've got to put up some sort of points. They want to stay in this thing.
Number 87, it looks like Logan Johnson for the Trojans holding his side. Of course, in a 28-7 game here in the second half, you really don't want to see your injuries mount up.
Quarterback's playing back on this one.
Terrace in the gun, as we've seen all day. The pitch to Palmer on first down. And Palmer will get about a 3 or 4 yard pickup.
About close to 5.
And there's that extracurricular activity that you've been talking about. Bjorn telling his players, stay smart. Do not let these New Bedford players get in your head. See who's it on. Balzerini getting called back to the sideline. Bjorn does not look happy with him. A 15-yard penalty. You're up 28-7. You just got to calm your nerves.
So again, this is what we were talking about. Now New Bedford has a legitimate opportunity to get back in to the BR territory on the field now. The ball's going to be placed at New Bedford's 49.
Bjorn does not look happy. This is what he's been trying to avoid. He knew this was coming from the New Bedford side. Going to start getting a little cheap here. It happens every single year. They start getting cheap when they start losing. This time Palmer's not even in the backfield.
So Wales going to be a couple yards short of the first down marker, and another flag.
And we got another flag.
BR looks like they're clapping. My fries just flew away.
I was pretty impressed. He made a good time getting to the concession stand and back.
Oh, yeah. I was coming down. I was like, I got 1 minute left. I got 1 minute left.
It's like the 2-minute offense.
Against the Whalers.
And we're playing a football version of ping pong here.
Back and forth.
We keep those flags off the field, boys.
Shooting yourself in the foot there. If you're New Bedford, coach has got to be livid with that call.
Trojans up 28-7 in the third quarter.
2nd and 15.
Again, the handoff goes to Palmer. Fighting to get back up to that original line of scrimmage after that initial penalty up to the 49. Can be stopped right around the 48-yard line. That was the 13th carry for the senior running back.
Offensive lineman's put up a shut-up time now. Nigel Palmer, he's a very talented back, but no running back can be a star on their own.
It's now an empty backfield here for Medeiros, who faces a 3rd and long. Medeiros under pressure, throws that one right into the breadbasket of David Abimbola, but Abimbola couldn't hold on to it.
Clobbered. This BR defense came to play this afternoon. Giving up 36 points last week?
36-35 last week, and that's what we talked about as well. You said before the game that, you know, as far as practice went, this was probably a tough week of practice for these players.
Oh yeah, usually it's on Thursday they'll have a walkthrough, and you know having the game on Saturday afternoon, the walkthrough comes on Friday, and you have the extra hitting on Thursday. So definitely their bodies are a little beaten and battered, but it doesn't show like they've had any side effects of that today.
And we got a stoppage here with 6:11 remaining in the 3rd.
His knee was down. Nullifying the punt.
Coach talking to Balzerini on the sideline.
And if you're going to have something like that happen with those personal fouls, you don't really want it to happen at all. But if it's going to happen 28-7, it's not a bad time for
27 is definitely not. It could happen 14-7, and that's a completely different story. Those are precious yards that you just can't give up. Balzerini, we know he's got a temper.
So apparently on that kick, the puncher's knee was down, so there wasn't a punt.
Special teams for New Bedford just not looking sharp today.
Hartzell throws it for Newman. That is going to be incomplete. Referees checking with each other if that was pass interference.
Very impressed that Hartzell got that ball off like he did. He cracked after that play. Tyler Newman, senior, defensive back and a slot receiver for this offense.
Of course, the team lost a lot of height during the offseason with Jeff Ciccio graduating.
That kid was a phenomenal player, and he's going to go on to do phenomenal things up in college. He's got heart. He's got the skill.
Here's Morrison on 2nd down.
Morrison almost looking like he's getting real comfortable now, just like picking and choosing where he's going to go. Almost like Le'Veon Bell. Full house tonight.
Morrison up to 14 carries. Already 4 touchdowns. .5:30 left to go. BR facing a 3rd and 6. Newman the motion man.
And Rubo gets stuffed. Doreen Roca makes a play. New Bedford slowly watching its undefeated season slip down the drain. 5:05 left here in the 3rd.
So now at this point in the field, Dan Buron has to go for it. One would imagine with the ball spotted at New Bedford's 35, 34-yard line as the quote-unquote imaginary play clock winds down. And we take down to right around 4.5 to go in the 3rd quarter.
And Buron's just letting this thing tick. He's going to take a timeout.
course, this is just part of a busy day here in the town of Bridgewater. We started things off with the Bridgewater Police 5K, 1 mile fun run. We had Autumn Festa as well. We also had a blood drive taking place across the street for a great cause. Also a ghost tour taking place. So September 28th, and of course the BR home opener. September 28th, a very busy day here in town.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day for it all too. You know, this stadium is full, very full that I've seen in a long time. It's great to see.
It's kind of surprising. We talked about it. These Saturday afternoon games, kind of difficult for families to get to with work and everything, but a pretty fair turnout here for the Trojans faithful.
For the New Bedford side, a lot of people didn't decide to travel this afternoon, but, that's okay.
They can watch us,
Yeah. You're probably watching us right now, New Bedford faithful. We know you. We know you are.
Of course, for the BR fans, you can watch all of our programming in the past BR Trojans football games as well on btvaccess.com. And, of course, you can always take one of our cameras, go film some action yourself. Email B. Berard at btvaccess.com. Brian Berard, our cameraman up top, getting sunburned, windburned.
His hat's probably blowing off a few times, and, we're just hoping for the best out there.
As long as the sunglasses don't fly off.
Me and John, we're in the press box right now, and, the wind, we have the walls to block out. It's a very beautiful view up here. Nice and warm, nice and cozy.
It's even better on Thanksgiving morning when it's 10 degrees outside. As the Trojans are going to go for it here on 4th down, facing a 4th and long. Morrison darting the eye in the backfield, split receiver set. And Hartzell's going to get chased out of the pocket, and New Bedford will take over around their own 34-yard line.
BR's got to get some backside help. It's almost like every single time that he's rolling to the right, he's got someone beaming to from the left. Got to get somebody rolling out on that DN, or it's going to be chaos this rest of the game passing.
4:19 remaining in the third quarter. Trojans up 28-7. As New Bedford trying to make a game out of this here in the second half. They've had a very difficult time getting anything going momentum-wise. Trojans sending 4 on the defensive line. On the QB keep, Madeiros darting through everybody into BR territory.
Look at him keep those little legs turning. He definitely hasn't quit on this game.
A 19-yard pickup for the senior quarterback.
First and 10 from the 46 for the Whalers.
As we go under 4 minutes in the third.
Palmer's had a very quiet second half.
Vargas and Michael Fernandez on the near side for the Whalers. Another QB keep. And another first down for the Whalers. Madeiros, where's this been all game long?
Well, Madeiros is like, if I can't pass, I got to do something to help my boys out. Am I right?
26 yards rushing for Madeiros.
And with Madeiros running like this, now you can get some trickery going with him and Palmer. Surprised they didn't set this up earlier in the game.
3 receivers to the near side, Palmer and Madeiros in the backfield. Here's Palmer, and straight through the BR defense. Another first down. 3 runs, 3 first downs.
You got to be wondering, is Bridgewater-Raynham's defense like letting go of the gas pedal a little bit here, being up 28-7? Having a lead early in this ball game is tough to hang on to. Players start getting lackadaisical. They start thinking the game's over.
That was Palmer's longest run since his 75-yard run back in the first half. QB keep and Madeiros, and that's going to be another first down up to around the 10. Whalers not going down without a fight here.
I love how Madeiros just keeps those legs going. He's just pumping them and pumping them and pumping them. Looks like Madeiros has got to tie his shoe. And
we get a timeout called here by New Bedford, and This is crunch time for the Whalers here. If you get a touchdown, it will be 28-13 or 14, depending on the PAT going into the fourth quarter. Fair to say New Bedford's still in this one.
If you score here, it could put some serious pressure on the BR offense to answer and put up some points. Move the ball down the field, get some first downs. I find it very hard to win this ball game if you don't put up a score here. True. I mean, you're at the 10-yard line. You're right there.
Trojans have alternated wins and losses so far here. They're 1-2, looking to get back up to 500 at the end of this game, riding a 12-game winning streak against the Whalers dating back to 2006.
And the Whalers, if they want that undefeated season, they're going to have to go through Bridgewater-Raynham here today.
Another 4-receiver look, and another carry by Palmer takes this one to around the 5-yard line for another 5-yard pickup. The Whalers can still pick up another first down here inside the 1.
Well, I'd be very surprised if they elected to throw the football down here, as the trend's been going all game. Medeiros is either overthrowing his guys or he's getting crunched. So the coach will probably stick with an option look. Medeiros and Palmer.
On second down, QB keep by Medeiros, dives across the goal line, and that's a touchdown for the Whalers.
So like we were saying earlier, now Bridgewater-Raynham cannot have a short 3-and-out drive here. It'll cost you.
Medeiros on the touchdown.
But somewhat got a new identity here in the second half with Medeiros now running the football.
With 2:03 to go in the third quarter, it's now a 2-possession game as one of the Trojans are shaken up on the field. We've seen a few Trojans on crutches and not with pads on, so this team looks like they've seen their fair share of injuries.
Yeah, and it's getting right around that time where players start going down. Week 4, 5, 6 of the season. It can be crucial. You lose some key guys. You see Buron down there, number 11. He got suspended last week with a hit to the head. And Lombard, who really on offense hasn't been missed much, as I hate to say, with the emerging star of Morrison today.
So that's Tyler Newman walking off the field under his own pressure. It's worth pointing out here, it is pretty warm out. Temperatures in the mid and upper 70s, so keeping yourself hydrated is very important because it could be very simple as just a cramp, which is what you're hoping at this point.
Yeah. Looks to be just a cramp as he can walk pretty fine. Remember my first game down at Savarian, those big boys, I started cramping up, and I was like, no, not right here, because I think it was one of my first games starting a few years ago, and I was just like, no, I can't come off the field, I'm sorry.
There was a pretty good rivalry with BR and Zavarian in years past as the PAT takes place, and that is going to be good. It's 28-14.
So let's see what Buron's got drawn up here. They scored fairly quick as well. 2:03 left in the third quarter.
As we've seen, BR can strike very quickly as well. Anthony Morrison scoring on the first offensive play for the Trojans today. He has 4 touchdowns. Also, Nigel Palmer for the Whalers has a touchdown, and now Ethan Medeiros finds the scoring column as well.
This is where games are won and lost, right here. Linemen have got to block. They gotta block their butts off.
Merlino and Morrison awaiting this kick around their own 10, 11-yard line. As these two teams play in BR's home opener on a Saturday afternoon. Now the Whalers are starting to get a little louder here now that it's a 2-possession game, and that ball just gets hit by a wall of wind. I believe that was Merlino that actually got the drop around the 30, but he does hold on to it, and BR's going to take over here at the 30-yard line. That could have been disastrous.
That could have been game-changing. It was set there up inside the 30. Right after a touchdown.
So after that New Bedford touchdown, I'd imagine the Whalers are going to be set to blitz Hartzell out of the pocket.
Oh, blitz they should, because it's not like he's going to pass the ball effectively down the field. You know what I mean? So as you just said, I really wouldn't be shocked if they just started sending the house. Trying to get a fumble off Hartzell.
Benskis moves to the far side of the line.
Motion and spear.
Here's Morrison going off tackle to the near side, rolled up around the 37-yard line.
Morrison's biggest asset right now is those cuts, those quick cuts he's making. Inside, outside. New Bedford players just can't tackle him first man.
Second down and 3.
So now a 2nd and 3, and Jacob Spear goes to the far side of the field.
Looks like Jacob Spears playing the H-back right now. And
Hartzell gets
miscommunication.
taken down. Bill Sousa with a big hit.
Wow, the fullback goes to the wrong side on the fullback trap. Hartzell thought he was going left. Masters went right. And now New Bedford with a huge opportunity to really change this ball game.
Looking at it positively here for the BR Trojans, that big hit and that big drop only sets it back to a 3rd and 10, whereas last time Hartzell got sacked deep in the backfield, it brought up a 3rd and 25 or something like that. So still 3rd and pretty manageable for the BR Trojans, but you'd have to imagine the Whalers are going to bring the heat here on defense. As we approach a half minute to go in the third quarter.
David Abozo looking, coming.
Morrison gets tripped up. And we have a flag.
And this is a crucial flag here. And New Bedford's clapping, so it looks like it's on Bridgewater-Raynham. And they'll bring out the punt team. And the momentum is looking to shift towards New Bedford now. And earlier we were talking about this, what Beyond did not want to be in the position of. 28-14. Got the whole fourth quarter now.
Clock down to 24 seconds. A deep end-over-end kick with a little help from the wind. Barros is going to start from his own 13. And that's about as far as he can get as he gets stopped around the 16-yard line. Compared to where that ball initially bounced, I think the Trojans will certainly take 1st and 10 from New Bedford 16.
And this is why when you have a good punter on your team, it's more important than more people may think. If you can pin somebody down inside the 20 versus pinning somebody down inside the 40, that's huge.
So this should be the final play of the third quarter as the Whalers look to make this a one-score game. Medeiros faked the handoff. He's going to take this one on his own. Got the first down along the far sideline. Medeiros turning on the afterburners. We got a ball game.
Wow. So Medeiros will take it in his own hands.
83-yard run by the QB.
The undefeated season on the line. Palmer having a quiet second half. Medeiros said, don't worry, man. I'll take this one myself. So we got a ball game. And we can't talk about this enough. I don't know if we jinxed this or what, John. But this is not what Beyond wanted to be at the start of this third quarter.
You think about the chain of events to get here. 4 runs.
Oh,
that
kick
is muffed.
So on the first play of New Bedford's drive, Ethan Meadows takes it to the house. And the undefeated season is looking to be saved.
We still have a quarter to play. It's going to be a fun one here at the regional as Ethan Medeiros had a difficult time getting anything going passing the ball. He sparked that last scoring drive before this one with a couple of big runs for first down on first down. And now you have New Bedford, who is pinned back in inside their own 20. Their quarterback just ran an 83-yard play.
You love to see that. You love to see the quarterback step up, be a leader, and make a play. It's a veteran senior move right there.
Mark DeBrito said after the team's win against Whitman-Hanson last week, Ethan has managed the game beautifully. He's been able to control the huddle. He's a very smart young man. What he lacks in size, he makes up for in heart. And we're seeing a quarterback with heart here in this second half.
Oh, we are. How tall is he? Probably like 5'5", 5'6".
5'6", 5'7". It looks like at the initial look.
Just tearing it up. Like I said earlier, the one thing I like about that kid is that kid's legs do not stop moving until he is on the ground. And the Trojans now here at home in front of their student fan base, in front of the faithful, have got to close out this one. Owen Balzerini getting some treatment down there. Trainer.
The Whalers have just ripped off 13 straight. Now a one-possession game to kick things off in the fourth quarter. It's time to have fun here at the regional. Morrison takes it from his own 10-yard line. Getting some blocks, and Morrison will fight his way up to the 38.
Probably this drive we're gonna see a lot of running in between the tackles. It's Buron. I don't know if he wants to step back and throw this football.
Hartzell has had a big pass that was caught by Rubenskis for 14 yards. That was back in the third quarter. Perhaps unfortunately for the Trojans, that was the biggest play passing-wise. But you'd have to think that you could maybe use Morrison as that short reception guy, right near the numbers.
Oh, yeah. You definitely, if it was me, I would try to hide Morrison in a bit of confusion and pop him out for a little screen because they're all looking at him. And they're going to shift the D-line.
On first down, Hartzell lost the ball. And perhaps you're seeing a team here that hasn't been in this situation before. Up 28-7. The lead starting to shrink a little bit here. Things starting to tighten up a little bit.
And the mental errors are killing them right now.
The loss of 2 to be second and 12.
When you're a young team, and you're not used to being up 28-7, this type of stuff can happen to you. You gotta learn how to close out ball games. When they get older, as they get older, they're gonna realize how important it is and how important a lead like that is with a half to go.
On second down, the handoff goes to Morrison for a short ball or a short gain. That might be a turnover. The referees are saying that he was down though.
Down.
I don't know if we had our friend Brian at BTV in the truck, we could check out the replay and look at his knee.
Third down.
I don't know. I think that looks like a fumble to me. We will play on without an instant replay, though.
Nonetheless, here, a very big third down for both teams. As this has been a tale of two halves for both the Whalers and the Trojans. It's looking to be the closest game these two teams have played since about 2010 or so. Mentioned earlier, this has been a one-sided rivalry between these two teams. Hartzell on third down, getting rushed, has that one knocked down.
Wow. And here we go. New Bedford with a chance to keep the undefeated season alive and well with plenty of time here to go in the fourth quarter. BR just not looking like they have the same energy they did when they were up 28-7. Almost looking lethargic. And just wallowing around on the sideline, jogging off the field. It's not what you want to see when you're in a one-point game, when you're in a one-score game in the fourth quarter.
10:08 to go here in regulation. A low snap, nearly blocked, but this will take a BR bounce and roll. And the Whalers will start from their own 26.
Buckle up, John, because we're in for a good one.
The Whalers from the 26-yard line.
And perhaps as far as BR goes, this is where not having that senior leadership maybe could hurt the team. This is a young football team, like we said. There aren't a lot of players on this team that have been in a position like this, so there's not a lot of places to turn to.
Yeah, especially with the youth program. These seniors with the youth program, they didn't win as much as some of the others, you know? And so when you have that to keep in mind, this is a group of guys that not used to winning like that, the seniors.
Medeiros on the keep. Somehow, some way, he remains on his feet to around the 31-yard line.
It's almost like Bridgewater-Raynham wasn't ready for him to run the football.
This has been some half for Ethan Medeiros. Couldn't get anything going in the first half. All of a sudden, he's taken off here. A couple of touchdown runs, including that 83-yard scamper.
He is definitely taking control of this team. And this is the senior leadership that you're talking about that BR is lacking right now. Medeiros has this team 28-7, and he's fully comfortable with leading them back up in the charge.
Here's Palmer. We haven't seen him in a long time. Neither has BR. He charges up to around midfield.
And here they come. Offensive line gave him a little bit of room to run, and he took it.
On Palmer's 16th carry, that's a 20-yard pickup. As we approach the 9-minute mark in the fourth quarter.
Newman, who was hurt on the last drive, is back out there on defense for safety.
Vargas and Fernandez on the near side, Barros on the far side. QB keeper by Medeiros, and Medeiros will work his way into BR territory up to the 46.
Ryan Rubinsk gets the defensive end for Bridgewater-Raynham. He was turned around on that play. Medeiros ran right by him. Got to keep you contained, these defensive ends now with Medeiros running free. You can't just bail it all in and go for a sack. You got to stay home, and you got to be disciplined. And most importantly, when he comes your way, wrap up and you got to make the tackle.
Maybe able to hear the wind starting to pick up again here at the regional as Palmer gets the carry, sidesteps his way for the first down, or right up to around the first down marker, depending on the spot.
You know, Bridgewater-Raynham did a fantastic job in the first half of hitting Nigel Harris, tackling him. Right now, they're getting a little tired.
From the 40. All the Whalers.
Shahid Barros lining up on the near side, matched up with Carlo Crissetti. On first down from the 40. Short pickup there for Medeiros, about a 3-yard gain.
Now they're just going. It's either Medeiros or Nigel Palmer who's getting the rock. And just watch out for a little sneaky pass. New Bedford might throw a wrinkle into the scheme right now and try to fool Bridgewater-Raynham, who's basically going it all in to stop the run. you trust him, though? Do you trust your senior quarterback to make that throw?
Dan Bjorn said this Whalers team has a lot of offensive weapons this year, and Palmer's going to get the carry, get the first down, and a few extra up to around the 25. Second effort gets him to around the 21. So right now, if you're the BR Trojans, what are you trying to tell yourselves at this juncture?
Stay disciplined and make that tackle. Watch where 23 and 4 are going, and don't get so consumed up by the run.
Palmer gets the ball, gets a cut in there, charges up to the 16.
Another thing I'm telling myself, when I hit Nigel Palmer, I've got to bring him down, or he could go to the house. That's an explosive back there, and you don't want to give him an extra chance.
Clock ticking down, now down to 6:10.
It's almost like New Bedford's taking a page out of Dan Bjorn's offense, saying we're gonna grind down this clock.
This has been the formation that's done very well for them during this second half. QB keeper, but the Trojans had that one scouted out, taking down Logan Johnson there on the stop.
It's a great job staying home and doing your job for the Bridgewater-Raynham Trojans. About 3rd and 5. This is a matter of heart here.
So far today, Palmer 19 carries, 12 carries for Medeiros. A game that has been predicated on the ground and the run. Medeiros hands off to Palmer, slicing through the BR defense inside the 5. And they're going to call him down just inside the 1.
What a cut by Nigel Palmer. Just when BR thinks they've got him behind the line, he slices through the defense, and nearly scores a touchdown.
As this is a crowd that, I don't know if it's shocked or perplexed at how you stop a running back with the talent of Nigel Palmer, the shiftiness, the cuts on this guy.
It's been a very entertaining running back duel between Nigel Palmer and Anthony Morrison this afternoon.
4.5 to go. The QB's going to take it all by himself. A 3rd touchdown for Ethan Medeiros.
And Ethan Medeiros, when the game was on the line, when you needed him most, he showed up.
So now you have to start worrying about that 2-point conversion, as that last PAT was no good. So obviously at this point you'd have to imagine Mark DeBrito's not going to roll the dice and hope for another look. He's going for it here.
Backs up against the wall for Bridgewater-Raynham now. But you have to forget about that touchdown for Bridgewater-Raynham. This is the new touchdown now. You have to stop this play.
Jadrian Carry-On in the backfield along with Medeiros.
They're going to get a timeout to think about this. As I was just saying, it's demoralizing when you get a touchdown scored on you. But at this moment in time, you've got another play to still save this game and give the ball back to your offense with a lead.
Enjoying your first game as a commentator?
Yeah, I'm enjoying my first game as a commentator, John.
What a way to come on here. The BR Trojans football team that was up 28-7 in the second half, now facing a 2-point conversion, fighting for survival with 4:28 to go in regulation.
There are 2 exits from the stadium. One at the concession end and one at the...
New Bedford's got all the momentum in the world right now, but it can all be popped with one defensive stop from the Trojans. An undefeated season hangs on the line. A 1-3 start for Bridgewater-Raynham also hangs on the line too.
The Whalers going to take on Barnstable next week. The BR Trojans on the road for the next couple weeks, taking on Marshfield and Dartmouth before coming back home to play the final 2 regular season games, home against Dennis Yarmouth and home on Thanksgiving against Brockton. As you know by now, the high school football regular season, very short, very quick.
And this is a New Bedford team that has not beat the Trojans since 2006.
Palmer in the backfield with Medeiros. And the QB keeping the QB ties things up.
Again, your senior, your leader, your quarterback. When you need him most, he shows up. Ethan Medeiros. New Bedford has come all the way back, trailing 28-7 at the beginning of the third quarter.
Off that chain, like I said, 3 straight runs. You go from 1st and 10 to another first down, 1st and 10 to another first down. Then you have that 5-yard run by Medeiros. And how do you follow that up on offense? You have an 83-yard run from your senior quarterback who just tied the game up, capping off a 21-0 run.
Exceptional. And now the ball is in Morrison's court.
Merlino and Morrison awaiting this kick.
You got to imagine they're not going to kick it to number 15.
As the ball comes off the tee for David Abimbola. A linebacker, a tight end, someone looking to pit BR deep in their own territory.
Just keep in mind, last week Morrison took a kick to the house, 1 or 2, and they will not kick it to him. And a scary play.
So that one was roped in by James Holland, and now the Trojans have 4:26 to try and take this ball 70 yards. And BR certainly has the luxury of the clock right now. They're looking at a 4-minute drive here. They don't have to try and hurry things up like you've seen in the past where you have to hurry the ball up in a minute or so.
Yeah, it's not like they got to rush and throw five balls down the field. They can certainly take their time with Anthony Morrison and this offensive line and just pound it down New Bedford's throat.
Morrison in the backfield behind Rubo. And Morrison's going to get the ball. Oh! Gets tripped up, and we've seen that on a few occasions today. Morrison bouncing into a couple of his own teammates.
Yeah, just getting tripped up. He has nothing but green grass in front of him. If he could just stay up on his feet, he changes this game again. As Morrison has proved this game to be a game changer.
If you're just joining us, Anthony Morrison, 4 touchdowns on the day. He has to be somewhere around 200 yards rushing.
And something to keep note of, Matt Buron, number 11, suspended last week in Severian for this game. He's probably their best receiver, not on the football field right now in crunch time.
This BR Trojans football team is used to playing these close games. As on 2nd down, that run's going to go nowhere.
And it feels like the Super Bowl for New Bedford. This just could solidify them this season with a win over Bridgewater-Raynham in Bridgewater-Raynham. Coming in down 28-7 at the half.
And this is a football team in New Bedford that is playing some inspired football. There is a story behind their season and why they really improved themselves here. Certainly encourage you to go read about that. So I don't want to try and misquote anything that's happened in the story, but this is a team playing with a purpose here, playing for memory.
You got something going at you with a purpose, man. It's pretty hard to stop.
Crissetti lining up on the near side on a 3rd and long. Hartzell rolling. That one's going to be incomplete.
That's where you would have liked to have Matt Buron. Maybe be able to come back to the football there.
And I said earlier, BR is starting to become accustomed to playing these tight games. We saw it last week against Severian, a couple weeks ago against the Duxbury Dragons.
St. John's Prep, that was a close-up until the 4th quarter, too.
So they're starting to kind of figure out these tough moments, or they're starting to see a lot more of these tough moments, but this is one that you could almost say they caused themselves here, being up 28-7.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a very, very big kick going into the hands of Shahid Barros.
Shahid Barros has been a playmaker. Wouldn't be surprised if he makes another play right now.
2:39 to go.
Oh, no.
And that is going to be a kick.
Boy.
That takes a true New Bedford roll. And at that point there, you're starting to see the youth again because the ball is starting to roll back in New Bedford's favor, and the BR players just started watching that. So, again, this is kind of growing into the moment for these BR Trojans.
That punter's got to be the sickest man in the stadium right now. I don't even have words right now. I mean, giving the team the ball after they just scored to tie the game, and they're on a roll. You got to feel sorry for that man.
2:27 to go. And we are going to get a stoppage here.
Unbelievable.
I said it earlier, you can just almost hear the hush that's come over the fans.
Sometimes I'm sitting here, I'm like, am I talking too loud? You know what I mean? I'm going to keep it a little quiet like we're on a jazz radio show right now. It just looks like Bridgewater-Raynham is a little bit miscombobulated right now, and you can't blame him, but...
So just to reset things, it is 28-all, 2:27 to go. The ball is on BR's 26-yard line. And we've had a battle of the running backs here this afternoon. Anthony Morrison close to 200 yards rushing. Also Nigel Palmer. But the story of the game, especially in the second half, has been the play of Ethan Medeiros, those 3 big, gutsy calls.
I was being pretty critical of Ethan Medeiros in the first half, but in the second half, kid showed me that he can really play and show up when you need him most. He's not getting it done with his arm, which is what a quarterback is there for, but he's getting it done with his legs, and most importantly, he's getting it done.
And we talk about the play of the players on New Bedford. Let's talk about this coaching staff led by Mark DeBrito. He had to have had one spirited conversation with his team during the halftime conversation.
Oh, yeah. Mark DeBrito knows he's this close. He's this close.
So again, the Whalers trying to play for one of their best starts in a long time. Currently 2-0. Best start since 2014. The BR Trojans fighting to get back to the 500 mark. Right now the referee's just trying to get everything back in order, I think, at this point, as they're going to call Mark DeBrito and Dan Biaron out to the middle of the field.
Face off here.
But you have to imagine this is kind of just to get things in order as far as the timeout situation.
I would love to be in the middle of that huddle over there, John. He what they're talking about. 2:27 left. 2 good ball teams coming out here on this beautiful Saturday. Biron, his hands in his pockets. If there were a day, if there were a season for New Bedford to climb the hurdle against Bridgewater-Raynham, especially with the inspirational story behind this, it would be on this beautiful Saturday here in Bridgewater.
Looking to spoil the BR home opener. As again, this BR Trojans team not coming back to the regional to play until October 25th. And speaking as a former player, I'd imagine playing in front of your home crowd kind of gives you that extra energy.
It does. It gives you that adrenaline rush and that faith that, all right, we can do this. We can win. But if there's one thing I really did love as a player, it was going into the opposing team stadiums and hearing the boos. Loved it.
And the Trojans faithful does come out as well. I remember games against Barnstable on the road, against Dartmouth on the road. Those are some of the most entertaining games to watch, even from listening to the fans when BR climbed out on top or added on to a lead. They got really loud, and you almost sounded like a home game.
Oh, yeah. They travel, and they're loud. There was one Barnstable game, I don't know if it was 2 years ago. Bryce Shaw had that interception, took it back to the house. That was awesome. I remember being on the field and being like, dang, Bryce. Bjorn returning back to the sideline. Hands, facing his hands. Because he can't believe that he's in the position in the fourth quarter now.
Okay, so the referee is trying to yell the message here, but from what I'm getting, they're going to redo this down.
Bjorn doesn't look like he approves that decision. He's looking for an answer now. Is everything just falling and tearing apart at the seams for Trojans in this offense?
So the referee is looking to reset the clock here to 2:35.
They will re-kick. New Bedford, Bridgeawter-Raynham gets away with a lot on that play.
So potentially what could have been a devastating blow to this football team could be a gasp of new life. There's Alex Mentalos, number 3 for the Trojans.
I think he might have more pressure kicking this one, though, now after that.
The wind is swirling again.
Let's see what he does here. The ball in his hands. Shot at reception.
So the clock's running here on 4th down. And this is a much better kick for the Trojans, and it's even going to take a BR bounce and roll. After all that, New Bedford is going to start from their own 30.
Yeah, if there's anyone that should have been mad on that decision, it should have been the New Bedford coach. Not sure what Bjorn was arguing down there, because works out in his favor.
So I couldn't hear with the headset on, but potentially the refs could have blown the play dead before the punt, and the punt actually took place. And all of a sudden, we had a whole bunch of stuff going on, and eventually turned out to be nothing. That's a legal way of saying it, I think. A whole bunch of stuff went on. All right, so Ethan Medeiros, it's gut check time. Hand off to Palmer. And again, he squirts free into BR territory. And just like that, New Bedford is back to where they were.
There's one thing I know about Nigel Palmer, talking to him the first week against Taunton. He loves these pressure situations. He loves getting the ball with 2 minutes to go in the football game. He loves everything on the line.
A 43-yard run for this running back who hasn't played since the halfway point of his sophomore season. Another 4-receiver set. And this is going to be the QB keeper here for Medeiros. Gets wrapped up and stopped around the 20. And now is when you have to start looking at the clock, more importantly, now down to 1:42.
I remember saying this earlier in the third quarter when they were starting to get Medeiros running, is going to be the play action and the option. And now you have 2 runners that you got to look for instead of just Nigel Palmer. It's deadly. So you just really have got to play disciplined football and wrap up and tackle here. And the linebackers, I'd almost have them playing back a little bit to almost catch Palmer. Put 5 up there in the box and have a lot of outside help.
141 yards rushing for Medeiros, and a lot of that damage has been done in the second half, including 3 touchdowns.
It's definitely tale of 2 halves, as you said earlier, John. Hartzell warming up on the sideline.
1:42, 2nd and 5, tied at 28.
1:42 remaining.
It looks like
Handoff goes to Palmer. He goes along the far side, gets some blocks, fights his way to around the 10. That's going to stop the clock momentarily. But for New Bedford right now, you want that clock to start ticking down. You want to put the ball again in BR's hands.
I was just going to say that, John. This is a dream come true if you're New Bedford. You have the ball inside the 20 with 1:33 on the clock, and you're looking to be in a position where you can punch it in and just have the game tick down to triple zeros.
Clock starts ticking again down to 1:22. Handoff goes to Palmer. He gets wrapped up, taken down just past the 5, up to around the 3. This will take us to most likely under a minute to go.
Gotta wonder, Anthony Morrison is coming out of the game right now as we speak. Speak of the devil, but he's put out a spectacular performance today. It'd be a shame if it goes out all at a loss.
So the Trojans call a timeout here, looking to try and save as much time as possible. Right now, there's 1:08 to go. The ball spotted on the 4-yard line. And you talked about the importance of Morrison, 4 touchdowns on the day. It would certainly be a heartbreaker, you'd have to think, for this running back here to just put everything out on the field to potentially come up in a loss.
Yeah, that's probably the worst feeling as a player is knowing that you really did everything that you could and you still come out with a loss. Especially with spectacular performances there is today. He's still out there on defense. I don't think so. So it looks like BR is going to go with a heavy, taking Morrison off the field.
Shotgun formation.
Right now, the Trojans defense stacking up here. And this is going to be a QB keep. Medeiros goes in untouched. Wow.
And the crowd has been hushed over here.
4 touchdowns for number 4.
It's almost like he was looking at Morrison saying, oh yeah, Morrison, I can do better.
So there is still 1:03 to go in the 4th quarter. And a 34-28 game here, depending on the PAT, as Anderson Cruz is going to look to put this one through the uprights.
What a game.
And the Whalers are up by 7.
So the Whalers, we talked about it earlier before the game started, haven't won against Bridgewater-Raynham since 2006. Undefeated year, inspirational story. Could this be the year for the Whalers?
Well, you would certainly think a game like this would have a big part in any future success for this Whalers football team. We talk about the senior quarterback, Ethan Medeiros, a guy that doesn't have the height. He has the heart, and he's shown it here on the football field today. Also, Nigel Palmer, we talked about it before. He's had, well, now close to 500 yards rushing on the season and 7 touchdowns. Before week 1 of this season, he hadn't played a snap since his sophomore year. And future opponents of the Whalers should be warned. The Whalers may be for real.
Just overcoming this ghost that has haunted them for years. That is Bridgewater-Raynham. A demon they haven't been able to slay. And they're 1 minute and 3 seconds from finally slaying their demon here.
So Morrison's going to take this from around his own 5-yard line. Turning on the afterburners. Morrison hooked up and down at the 46.
My heart stopped, John. I thought Morrison was really going to take that one to the house. So,
Spotting the ball at about the 56.
54 yards is what the Trojans need on this drive, and they have to do it in 56 seconds.
56 seconds.
They got 3 timeouts, John. Probably got 2 timeouts.
Well, nonetheless, it is worth pointing out, this is just like college football. If you get the first down, the clock will stop to move the chains, which could be important.
Double back set. Trying to get protection for Hartzell.
Deep in the backfield. That's a big hit by Caleb Jardin. And a timeout quickly called. Actually, no, the clock's continuing to wind down now. Down to 40 seconds. A lot of time burning off here. We're down to 34 seconds.
Oh, no.
Hartzell's going to have to do something with it here. Elects to just run out of bounds.
I don't know what was going on at that play. It seems like not even Coach Bjorn knew or was anticipating ready. Maybe Hartzell was just shaken up. You know, with a guy like Morrison, this game isn't over. But how are you going to get the ball to him if Hartzell doesn't have time to throw the football?
That's what Dan Bjorn's asking his team right now and his coaches.
You know, they got two backs back there, and I feel like it's just so they can give Hartzell some backside protection as well because he hasn't had any all game.
Now Morrison goes to the far side of the line. Hartzell getting flushed, getting hit. He's down. That'll bring up 4th down as the clock continues to wind down. We're down to 15 seconds. We're down to 10 seconds here on 4th down.
They got to go Hail Mary here. They don't have time
Clock
to spend.
down to 5.
They might be lucky the whistle blew.
There's a flag.
The procedure for Bridgewater-Raynham.
I mean, if I was a betting man, I'd say that's probably a procedure call. We can hear the New Bedford broadcast next to us, and they're saying that the players on this Whalers team, they're going to remember this game for a long time.
I mean, when you haven't been a team since 2006, John, you're going to remember that. I don't know. Very interested to see what they're going to come up here with 2 seconds left on the clock. You're not playing for another down. You're touchdown a game. 5 seconds left on the clock, though. They'll adjust.
So the time's moot here. It's down to a final play here for the BR Trojans.
And one last desperation.
Hartzell completes the pass to Rubenskis. Rubenskis has the size. He gets taken down at the 40. New Bedford gets a big win here at the regional.
They slay their demons and move on.
The streak is over for the Whalers.
What a game by both teams.
We're going to talk about this game for a while, I'd imagine. But when we talk about the New Bedford Whalers, this certainly came down to the play of their senior quarterback, Ethan Medeiros. As I mentioned, over 100 yards rushing, a lot of that in the second half. This was a team that had something happen during halftime, apparently.
No, they had something happen in that locker room. Somebody said something, somebody did something, and that man was Ethan.
And so let's talk about this from the BR Trojans' perspective here. They were up 28-7. They've lost this game. They're 1-3. What happens next for this football team?
Throw this game out the window, and you just got to worry about next week. I mean, they're a very, very, very talented group. And again, the one thing that I think that this team's got to work on is that offensive line of protecting the quarterback. When you have a quarterback with the skill set that Austin Hartzell has, it's almost like a waste because he can't display it. You see the New Bedford players having a good old time.
It's not the Super Bowl, but if you're from New Bedford, it might as well be the Super Bowl. They snapped the 12-game winning streak of the BR Trojans against the Whalers as they get the 35-28 in what many people are going to consider an upset win over the BR Trojans. So for Brian Berard, our cameraman up top, and for Robert Jouffre, I'm John Locke. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you later.